is dealing with an issue that I talk to my clients about consistently. And it's one of the things that worries me whenever I'm dealing with clients and how important it is to manage your relationship with your customers. You want to always have the feeling of being in love, right? That the love as far as that addiction piece, feeling it, needing it, wanting to just relive and experience that, whatever that is with your customers have with your business. And what I do is I go back and I use this quote, which we're going to take a look at here before we get into the article I want to talk about here is, and it's from the movie Closer with Natalie Portman. Is if you haven't seen it, but this is where I talk with so many business owners that this is how it happens. This is how quickly you can lose your customers. Let me just read this to you here. So in the movie Closer, when Natalie Portman's character Alice falls out of love with Jude Law's character Dan, she says, "I don't love you anymore. Goodbye." In the same scene, she also tells him, "I can't see it. I can't touch it. I can't feel it. I can hear it. I can hear some words, but I can't do anything with your easy words." And I use this particular movie scene as the example of once you lose trust with your customers, once you forget the narrative that you've built with that customer, you've lost them. And you're going to have to work really hard to rebuild that trust, but it's never going to be the same again. And you are going to have to reinvent who you are, what you do, and reintroduce yourself to an entirely new group of people. And that's what Starbucks is doing right now with their new CEO, Nick. And we're going to get into that here. But this is what's happened. Starbucks lost again. We all fell out of love with Starbucks, and now we just hear their easy words, and they are not resonating with any of us, and it's showing up in the, daily interactions with the staff. It's showing up in, frankly, do we wanna pay that amount of money every single day for something that is we thought was that feeling that we only got at Starbucks, when in reality, oh, it wasn't real. It was just out there in the ether, and now it's gone. So again, we're going to take a look at an article today from Yahoo where we're talking about what the new CEO has been dealing with and kind of where they're at, just kind of get a vibe, but also showing they're still struggling and they're at the point now where they got to figure it out. That they have to come to the realization that they're out of everyone's out of love with them, and there has to be some new trust building that goes on. Now, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach and exit planner that works out of West Michigan and around the country. I help businesses get ready to sell, make them valuable businesses, things of that nature. But I use this information that here, like for instance, these articles, as a way to educate and coach my clients. And I come here live on YouTube pretty much every single day to share that information. And I hope to earn your subscription. So let's get into it here. Man, I fumbled that whole intro piece. Normally, I'm a lot smoother, guys. So I apologize on that. All right, so let's take a look here. Now, again, link to this is going to be in the description. So be sure to go check this out. Now, this is analysis. 9 months in, Starbucks CEO faces tall order and turnaround. I'm fairly certain they used tall as a play on the drink size too. At least I hope they did. Hopefully that was intentional. Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol earned a reputation on Wall Street as a miracle worker for wounded restaurant brands like Taco Bell and Chipotle. 9 months into his Starbucks tenure, investors are unsure if lightning will strike a third time. Shares jumped more than 20. I remember this when they brought him on, shares jumped 21%, and there was a lot of goodwill that happened with that. And then there has been, I want to say necessarily fumbles per se, but it's been a misinterpretation of what people wanted. And one thing he was excited about was that we are going to give everybody markers again so they can write their names on the cups. Okay. Whatever. I mean, it's nice, but there was they instead of listening to the customers, they said, "Oh, we'll just go back to what we were doing." And that's not the case. That's not what it is. Now, Nichols' Back to Starbucks initiative emphasizes a simplified menu, which is great, freshly baked goods, ceramic mugs with handwritten messages, and speedier service. The experience at the coffee house defines our brand. He said the company's previous removal around 30,000 seats in stores as it prioritized mobile orders hurt the business and would be reversed. Yeah, 100%. So if folks want to go to coffee shops or you want to be able to hang out a little bit, but they also in that world though at that time, they needed more space for mobile orders because folks just want to get their coffee to go. Now we're getting back where people want to be able to sit and meet. and converse again. So, it's just they are making those adjustments. Now, the thing though, global same store sales declined 1% for the quarter ending March 30th. Fifth straight quarterly contraction. That's huge in a publicly held company like Starbucks. Now, analysis from Placer AI shows regular customers are coming in less often. That's true than before Nickel took over. Head of analytical research, Reuters review of the company. Again, they've been taking a look at cell phone data. Is really what they did. So it's a big data piece here. The average customer visited 2.4 times in February compared to 2.48 last February. Now that small increase has a huge effect on sales. And the big thing here you have to win that trust back. And that is, the heart of what the problem is here. Folks they got burned by Starbucks and frankly they're just not interested in going back. And there are so many more alternatives now with local coffee shops that people can go to where they can find as good if not better coffee and the connection that they're looking for with a focus on them where they are the focus. Now, I wanna get one more thing here. Where's it at? Hey, when we talk about the turnaround artist that this individual worked, he's did great at Taco Bell. Taco Bell was a dying franchise, and then it was been rebranded and reborn. He did that. Chipotle was a huge turnaround. I mean, 31% increase in sales, and he did turn both of those franchises around. I think it was great what he did. However, he's moved into a different genre, right? When you talk about Taco Bell, when you talk about Chipotle, that's one type of quick serve. Coffee is a completely different animal when it comes to the quick serve environment. And I think he's realizing now just how challenging that is. Also, don't forget, this guy also got his $80 million bonus after a few months for just doing a few changes. So he's already been paid as well. Some of the stuff that they're dealing with, and this goes back to this here. I'm gonna where they talk about the protest and other thing that they're having here. I'm gonna go to here real quick. All right, so here's the deal, and this is where I want to be able to touch on this. There's a connection that people are looking for when they go to these coffee shops. When they go to your Starbucks, right? Starbucks. When it initially came out, it created the entire, frankly, industry, the genre, that niche of the European style coffee shops in America. So that was great, built it out, and they were the predominant player in it for a very long time. And now however, the market has matured to the point where the barrier to entry to open a coffee shop is pretty low. And people are now looking for authenticity. And when I'm talking with my clients, that is what we are focusing on. The authentic you. People want whatever it is you are, who you are. They want that again in every cup of coffee that you provide or whatever service that you have. In the case of Starbucks, here's one of the issues they're running into. They see where they have baristas and I'm not knocking this. This is you guys want to unionize, do your thing. It's workers' rights, do your thing. From a marketing standpoint, though, you are alienating a portion of the potential customer base when they see in the news that there's baristas are staging walkouts and they're unionizing for this and they're complaining. They're complaining. There was complaints about uniforms, right? Having to wear the specific uniform to work there, and these unions, and they're seeing this on the news. No, when folks really just want to come and get some coffee, and they want a place where they are recognized, where they get to feel that they are the most important. In reality, what they're seeing is, and they're hearing, is a place where the staff wants to be the most important. Whether again, this is not a condemnation, it's simply just these are the facts and what the average customer is seeing. So in that world, how does the CEO and how could Starbucks turn it around when the narrative that is out there on social media, when it's out anywhere, is you have a staff that wants to unionize and the staff wants it to be about them versus having it be all about how do we manage and maximize the customer experience and win them back and win over a whole new generation of coffee drinkers. And that is what, again, where the CEO Nichols up against, as well as the entire leadership team at Starbucks. And frankly, I think they're missing the boat on that. And so when I'm advising my clients, there's a couple things that we talk about, and it's the bookends. There's bookends that you want to have. Now, the on this end that you have on the starting end is called it's something called I just activated my tracking on that. That's gonna be bad. Sorry. I got my little AI camera. I just saw it move. So tracking. Okay. So it would have been bad in a second. Anyway, so what we have on one side of this is going to be something called haxity, which is thisness. It is the feeling you get whenever the taste, touch, smell, feel all the things that you have, the sounds in an environment. It's the how you feel in the moment where you're at. Starbucks has 100% control over that, their entire environment, well, as long as the staff is playing along, and currently the staff isn't playing along. But let's say they get everything together, right? So when I'm working with my clients, you control that. You control the customer experience. What that does is going to build, and if you do it correctly, where you're focused on helping that client solve their problem, whatever they happen to need in the moment, and they are the most important thing that's happening, what that's going to do is going to activate nostalgia, which is a negative emotion, which is going to make them want to come back and get that same feeling they had the first time. And they're gonna wanna constantly be back around the place that where they have a emotional attachment to where you solved the problem, you made them the most important thing. And to go back to what Natalie Portman was saying in Closer, where she was talking like empty words. She doesn't know what to do with the empty words. That's exactly where customers feel right now with Starbucks. Everything they see is empty words because in reality, the actions are nothing about them being focused on them. It's all they see is Starbucks leadership doing one thing, and then the baristas doing their thing, and at no point are they the priority. So take this, if you are a business owner, make sure that you are there 100% customer facing all the time, and you are there for your customers. And you're gonna be amazed at how quickly things will, you will build that level of, attachment for you and your brand along with your customers. Okay. So with that, if you're interested in learning about how I help businesses grow faster than I ever thought possible, build businesses that uh, basically turn into cash machines that buyers want to purchase for high multiples, there is a link to a value builder assessment. It's down in the description. Takes about 13-15 minutes to do. And when you do that, you're going to get a score that's going to give you a better idea exactly how close your business is to being able to be sold. And what I would l with that, we can get together on a call if you'd like afterwards and talk about how I might be able to help you, okay? So again, link is down in the description. Be sure to go check that out. Again, thank you everybody who hung out this long. Hope